I started this teaching a few days ago, but I was redirected by the Most High. And the reason I'm teaching you this stuff is I'm preparing you for the things, preparing you to see the things that I'm going to be revealing in the future. So let's look at the mystery of the serpent. He has a tongue, he has a head, a body, and a tail. A head, at the time in the garden, did not have a name. But it's important that you understand the head needs a name, so it can speak with its tongue. Its body is designed to consume. It consumes things and causes it to grow, as everyone. And then you have the tail. Remember this, it's very important to understand prophecy. The serpent, his tail follows him wherever he goes. The tail always, if you've ever seen a snake, you know the tail follows him. It doesn't move left and right, nothing, it follows him. Very important wisdom. Now, when a snake attacks, like say a rat or a mouse or other mammals, other animals, it injects venom in it to numb it up, because a snake has to consume a carcass at the moment of death, and it knows when the heart stops, it knows when the lungs stop, because it squeezes the life out of its victims, so it knows. And the second it squeezes the life out of the victim, it consumes its dead prey, because the spirit is gone. The life is gone. Okay? However, for some reason, birds, chickens, that's why they love eggs, are designed different. Its venom does not work on a chicken, or especially a biddy. They call them a biddy. They're called biddies. So what it does is it has to hypnotize it, and the way it does it is it uses its tongue. Left, right, and it hypnotizes. And once the little biddy starts swaying back and forth, this is important, back and forth, then it knows it is ready, because it has hypnotized it. Because the way the feathers are designed and the way the snake is designed, if he starts to squeezing it, it'll pop it out, it'll be squeezing and it just pops right out, and it'll run, so it has to keep it under its hypnosis. And once it is in his grasp and it starts squeezing the life out and puts his mouth there, getting ready to consume, then it can consume the little bitty. Then it has to rest. Okay? It has to rest. It's got to consume its food that it just ate. And for some reason, like little bitties and eggs, they get more nourishment out of those things. And then it poops. And if you look at their poop, it's called just snake urine, because they don't poop and pee, right? It's all mixed together, and if you look at it, it's white. That's important for later. It's white, and when it comes out white, and if you've ever seen snake pee, it comes out in a like clay. It's almost like clay, and it has a mix of the dead in it. Like if it consumed a mouse, you'll see its hair. You'll see maybe its tail, a piece of its tail, or a piece of its paws, or a piece of it. Pieces of it will be riddled throughout it. And then it sheds its skin so it can grow. It has to go through a fence or something to help pull the skin off so that it can grow bigger, and then the process begins again. And what people don't realize about like a small snake can eat a rat or mouse and be good the whole summer, right? It'll just float around, look around, It doesn't consume to consume. It doesn't do like other animals that kill it and bury it and save it, or it waits until it's hungry. So it just kind of runs around looking to see, basically scouting to see where the food source is, so that when it gets hungry, it'll know where to go. Now let's talk about the curse. The first curse was he told the serpent it would eat of the dust of the earth the rest of its days, right? Important. And we know the dust of the earth is man, right? Women. When we die and our soul leaves our body, we are consumed. We go back to the dust of the earth. So let's look at the serpent's tongue. Truth, deception. Like this. See, little bitties are important because a mother hen will keep her bitties under her wing, and if a snake or predator comes, she'll attack them, right? To keep them away from her children, because her children will follow. They're kind of like sheep. They're kind of like sheep in a way. They once they come up from under the mama's wing, they start, they follow, and if there's a grown up, once they get grown, if there's people, they'll start following the people, because they'll know that's where the food comes, right? But they'll only follow their mother while they are little, while they are little, they only follow their mother, and they'll only follow their master, right? Later, they only follow them. But anyway, it's important to understand truth and deception come off. What a serpent speaks is some truth, just enough truth to lace it with the deception, and lace it is a proper word. So look at what the serpent said to Eve. You will not surely die, for he knows that you will be a god like him, knowing good and evil. The spiritual serpent does the same. You will surely not die. You will be saved. Very important for later. You come and eat from this tree. If you come and eat from this, you will be saved. So one of the first few questions, and there was several questions just reading that I had before Father. and one was, why was the tree there in the first place? If, you being the good father, and you knew, people don't put a bucket of cyanide in their living room and tell their children not to touch it. They know the first thing they do or touch it, and if they don't, and they're obedient to their parents, and someone comes along and says, oh no, let's touch it, that they're going to touch it, they're going to die. So why was the serpent in the tree in the first place? Well, that was one of my questions. He was eating. Behind the scenes, the thing we didn't see is that once Father created everything and created man, we don't realize and understand that the Satan was able to watch these things going on. And he told Adam not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. On that day, they will surely die. He would surely die. So Adam was obedient and he did not eat from the tree, right? Because he knew what Father said, that he would surely die. So he didn't eat from it. He never ate from it. It wasn't until Father split him apart. And what I'm telling you is everything was a plan. Father planned everything. Everything perfectly. A part of my job is to show you the plan of the Most High. So he was there eating. And I already explained why he was eating, because the Satan, even though he watched man be created, he could not go into, he was shut out of the garden. He could not go in there. So, in order to figure out what was on the tree, because he saw everything that Father created, in order for him to know what was on that tree, he had to tempt the serpent to go in. And that's why when Eve saw the serpent, it was a creature she wasn't familiar with, right? It was like, well, who is this creature? Well, there are so many things that we don't see, and you can't see it until you seek Him with all of your heart and all of your soul and all of your mind and all that you are. And then you'll start seeking wisdom, and you'll get wisdom, and you'll seek His face, you know. Wisdom is a gift that He gives, and only He can give it to you. And then He'll open up other things. He'll let you see His mysteries, and the mysteries of everything. See, what's not written and we don't see is the fact that the Satan, you know, the serpent made a covenant with death. With the Satan, okay? And the Satan told him if he goes in and eats from the tree, right, that one day he could become a mighty dragon. And of course the serpent wanted to be a mighty dragon, of course, right? So when Eve came along and she was confused by this creature she saw in the tree, she was like, she went to investigate. And of course, the serpent, being the serpent that had been already eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, understood that, you know, they wouldn't die, their eyes would be open. So what did he do? He riddled deceptions and truth to Eve. And he revamped it. He mixed it together, made it his own. You will surely not die, right? But he left out the part that, you know, you will be thrown out of the garden, right? He left out all that kind of stuff. He left out the necessary parts of the equation. And then he riddled it in. Well, you know, for he knows that you will be a God like him, knowing good and evil, right? Okay. Let's look at the mouth of the dragon. A dragon speaks with fire and brimstone. Fire and brimstone is judgment and condemnation. This is important information to help you understand prophecy later. Judgment and condemnation. That is the fire. Using the Torah, things written in there, to judge and condemn the world. Instead of using it to judge yourself, you use it to judge and condemn the world. And this is an important concept because I'm going to pull it all together. You just got to understand this concept. Well, the serpent himself couldn't eat from wisdom because wisdom is hidden. He couldn't find it. Eve and Adam knew exactly where the fruit was, but he didn't tempt them with that because he wasn't sure how it worked yet. And he needed those 7 spirits to breathe fire, judgment and condemnation to destroy the earth for the Satan. So I'm giving you that concept for now, and we are going to revisit it as I teach. That is my job right now, is just to teach. So I praise Yahweh that you got something out of this, and I praise Him for opening your eyes and your ears. Praise you, my living Yahweh. I praise you forever and ever.